will end with the equal money system. War in this world, it is well known with the military-industrial complex, is purely an extension that play within the bounds of the current economic system, where markets must be created, and one of the markets that are created very successfully over and over throughout the years is war. War is a destructive way, and it brings good. So you do something bad, so you're going to get something good. The goodness is that you have to rebuild what is broken and shot up and destroyed, which then allows one to have a lot of money generated, and the companies that is got the governments in their pockets makes a lot of money out of it, and the government leaders got no choice but to serve the company, the corporation, because without the corporation they would have never have been in power, and the corporation controls the media and the message, so that all the brainwashed humans can not even see what's going on and participate in it, and they employ so many people. People are so scared to lose their jobs, so they just stick to the old war system. Everybody in the world is involved in war in some way or another. I mean, it is a well-known fact that you have a war on every front now happening. There's consumer wars, there are physical wars, there are oil wars, there are drug wars, you name it, there are wars everywhere, information wars, all of them causing destruction, and must be rebuilt, and is part of the current economic dispensation. All of this will change with an equal money system, because there will be no need to rebuild something or break it down so that you can rebuild it. You will be in a position where everything is taken care of, a magnificent position, and everything would be the best that can be made by the human intellect and the human hand, and best of the properties of what is on this earth, all the parts that is available. And this will bring about a world of peace that everybody is desiring. Yes, equal money is the way to peace forevermore. Eternal peace, the golden age. Imagine that. And it is achieved by something you can call golden money. And a specific way of application, a way of life. The way of Jesus, which is love thy neighbor as thyself. Don't kill it. Don't kill your neighbor so that there can be goodness. Do unto others what you want them to do to you. So don't kill them so that they kill you. Don't create terrorism, because that's part of the money game. Don't play Monopoly. But anyway, one of the biggest single things we're going to have to overcome in this time that is here to bring about a new system is brainwashing. That is why it'll take as long as 20 years before the new system will be in place, because the human being simply cannot grasp that it is brainwashed. Because how can you expect the brainwashed person to realize they're brainwashed? It's not possible. If you hear the equality message and you can't hear it and you react to it, and you're attacking it, you're brainwashed, you're proving it. For those that has already managed to break the brainwashing, it's clear. For you being brainwashed, obviously it's not. They've all been where you are, so breathe, breathe, breathe. Give yourself a chance. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Give yourself a chance. Now here, on this point of war, Gabriel will be the convener. There will be a topic on the equal money forum for discussion and contribution. All of you that has been researching the military-industrial complex, you can share the information and the links with Gabrielle and the sister in bringing about the episode of the Equal Money book about the end of war, giving the current scenario, what is currently happening, and then how it will change, and why it will change, and why it is necessary to change, and why Equal Money will bring about peace on earth forevermore. Join us if you're ready to be deprogrammed, if you're ready to be without the brainwashing. Enjoy and study and stand up with Desteni I Process. Many has done that. Your turn. And please note the male egos out there. You're the guys that fall because you've always been in power in this system. Now it's a time of the female. And the females that's become males, that's sad, real sad. You have become part of the logic, intellect of the male and lost your way. Be a female, because you are the way.
So to add here to what Bernard has said about war, you know, what is interesting about human nature is that we will look at things like photos of people who have been blown up, news reports of war-stricken countries where there's rubble and dead babies and bleeding people and mortuaries full of dead families and the mourning family members who remained. And we'll look at this and for a moment we'll get tears in our eyes and we'll feel grief-stricken and sorrow for the families. But this happens to us every single time we see these pictures and we see these events unfolding. However, the grief and the pain that we experience is momentarily there. It never stays with us to the point where we, after witnessing this now for hundreds of years, actually stand up and say, but wait a minute, this is unacceptable. And if I find war and the killing of beings for and in the name of political power, if I find this to be so shocking and disgusting, how can I put an end to it? Well, I put an end to it by looking at what goes on behind why countries participate in creating war. Why does the war system exist? So, like Bernard in his interview gives an overview of the war system and how it is tied in with the capitalist system. Now, what I want to add to this is why, as the human, have we come to accept war? Because, be self-honest, all of us actually feel safe being in a country where we know that our politicians will go to war to protect us. Okay, that is what we as humanity have come to accept within war. You feel sorrow for that person that you're seeing on the television, but not enough so to actually say, look, I want to bring an end to war. I want to bring an end to what goes on behind the reasons why countries will play power games with each other, which results in war. Because two things human beings are aware of and do not want to change. That is the fact that we want to be protected by the governments. And the second thing is, the governments are doing this to ensure capital stability within the country that you are living in, so that you can continue with your middle and upper class existence. Because let's be self-honest here, we know exactly why countries go to war. I mean, it is two powers that are fighting with each other. I mean, this is a very basic overview. It's two countries that go to war with each other to see who has the upper hand, who comes out the strongest, who in the end gets to have the monopoly over the other country, who gets to make the decisions, who gets to infiltrate, who gets to absorb the other country, who gets to take resources, etc., etc. I mean, that's the whole reason of war. Even what we have proven to ourselves, and what was strongly indicated within research that was shown on the internet, that wars based on things like 9/11 was not actually even done around the point that it said it was done. There was something always going on in the background. It was about resources, it was about creating instability and fear in the public. And most people will deny that they are aware of the fact that the agenda behind why wars are fought, most people will claim they don't actually know those agendas are there. But let's say for a moment you claim that you don't know why that agenda is there, and simply look at the reason why war exists as war is known for in this world. So let's say the excuse that we're all aware of. War exists between two countries, either who are going to war about something that happened between them, going to war, or it is for taking over, taking resources, one country who sees another country as being unable to continue, the governing party being taken over by another, so forth, so forth. One can go and you can Wikipedia, Google causes for war and reasons why throughout history countries have gone to war. But still, the point remains, as humanity, we have come to accept the reasons for war. And we have come to accept that war is actually acceptable because we feel safe knowing that, listen, I'm not going to mess with you, but if somebody comes and wants to take away my house and my family and my money, oh hell yeah, I want my country to shoot the shit out of that person. That is actually the reason why we hush hush and never speak about it. And hundreds of years will go by, and every single human will cry and shed a tear for the blown up babies on the television, but never take it that step further where, as humanity, we all stand together, hold hands, and stand for one vote, which is, I do not accept and allow war as it exists, the excuses that it exists for, and the hidden agendas and excuses behind why war exists. Everybody is too scared, first of all, to speak up against the current world systems. And secondly, we've become too comfortable with our middle class lives. Well, you work 9 to 5, you don't still want to protest and speak up and communicate to others and create forums and have a voice in the world about what really goes on about in war, and you don't want to have to take your time to research the reasons why war exists, and you don't want to have to stop participating in the value systems around which money exists. That is why one of the reasons why war exists is the capitalistic aspect behind it, the control of money, the creation of money, and the control of resources, which is again linked to money and power. And within that, we as the humans have become too comfortable living the comfortable lives that money brings us, and we don't want to give that up. And that is the next major reason why we don't want war to end, actually, because it's too comfortable. I mean, you know there's wars going on in these countries, and it's about oil, and it's about this, and it's about that, but it's not your house that's getting blown up. So as long as it sort of stays out there, the first and second world countries don't have to care, because we are the ones who are benefiting from the wars that are taking place over resources and over other countries who, the excuses that are being used, it's religious wars and all that stuff. Whatever excuse they want to use, but the point is, within an equal money system, where we, first of all, change the value we've given life, so that we can change the value we give things in our world, so that it's not seen as special and some things are seen as not special, and therefore there's this whole value system within self that goes on in relation to yourself and the world, which causes you to want to buy things and have things which the other person doesn't have. Once you've sorted that out and everything becomes equal, then it's going to change how we experience money, and therefore wars don't have to take place because everybody has equal access to resources, and it becomes your human right. Everybody will have equal access to being able to buy things that you would like to have within your life. But it is not about, if I have more money than the next guy, then I can buy special things which make me feel special, and then the other guy is not as special as me. And war ensures that countries become strong and powerful, which allow the people like you and I who live in the countries, the ones who are listening to this interview right now, we are then placed in a feeling powerful position because my country is stable enough and developed enough to be able to provide me with the things that I can buy when I go to the mall. That's what it comes down to. And if one start considering in the future, do we want to end up having wars in the countries that we live in? Would that have to be where it ends, where another person is watching television, watching my family or your family being blown to bits? Where does it end? Where does war actually end? Especially if the way we're going now, where greed is becoming so extensive that we'll have to find more and more reasons to fight wars to be able to gain control of resources and of and within the capitalist system, to get for countries to get a foothold and to become more secure, to be able to protect their people. So you see the vicious cycle here of allowing the point of wanting to feel safe and wanting to have a comfortable life, and what your country has to do to be able to give you that. Same as what's happening in South Africa currently with the African national criminals that are now running the country. It has already been decided that it is now the black person's turn to have power and to have what money can give them. Therefore, everybody that keeps voting for the ANC will do so from the premise of, it's okay if the elite keep taking the taxpayers' money and leaving me in squalor and not actually providing and changing the current systems within South Africa to be able to better take care of all the people living in the country. I don't actually care. I mean, I care about it, but not enough that I would actually vote for a political party that does what's best for all. I just want to make sure that the black elite get a good time, because that means I might get a good time. That's obviously not going to happen because, you know, there's not enough money to go around for everybody to be millionaires. Of course, in an equal money system, that would be possible. However, that is the entire reason why rape and corruption and housebreakings and murder is being allowed in South Africa currently, because of the hope that the wealth will be distributed down the line to those who are not so privileged. It's not going to happen, and we're going to, the same as the big wars that are happening everywhere in the world. In South Africa, for example, you're having the small wars being fought between blacks and whites, the crime that happens between those who have money and those who don't have money. And this is going to continue and has escalated in the last 20 years because nobody is willing to stand equal and be equal and give each other equal opportunity. It's now about, you took from me in affirmative action, now I'm going to take from you and your white race for the next 500 years. And then what happens is, if the power swings, are we going to go back to the point of spitefulness and hate, where whoever gets into power is going to go, ha ha, you did this to my race for 20 years, screw you, now you're going to be my slave again? I mean, it's a never-ending cycle. So let's start considering why war exists, the excuses that are used, and how can I really change war? Or do I have to change the way that I've given value to the money system, to life, and to that which I participate in within the system, and stop that which I allow within this world as a point of a principle that I stand by, because I see what is really going on behind war. Thank you very much.